Right, well, my name is David Roemmele. I'm the official Scottish Labour Party candidate for Perth and North Perthshire. I'm 52 years old. I live in Perth. Yes, I have a flat in Perth. I rent a flat from a social landlord, a housing association. I don't own my flat, and I'm very happy to rent from a social landlord. And my background, my own personal background, I would encourage you to look at my leaflet, because I feel that it encapsulates a lot of my background. But I have educated myself, and I'm very proud of that. And I've educated myself by distance learning, and self-funded that, particularly postgraduate. And I certainly believe that education is a key for everybody, and it is the key to unlock everybody's potential. So, and I certainly feel that it has unlocked my potential on a personal perspective, which is also why I'm happy and willing to stand as the official Scottish Labour Party candidate for Perth and North Perthshire. Do I feel it's important to be engaged in politics, or at least aware? Yes, without question. Again, I would say that whilst I am standing for the first time as a parliamentary and political candidate, I have not stood for political or elected office before. It is certainly something that I feel through my education, and certainly it's something that I inform my students. I teach English to adults. I teach ESOL to adults, English for speakers of other languages, at a venue in Perth. I do that through as a self-employed person. So I feel that it is extremely important to be aware of the political landscape, because the politics, after all, they have the levers of power, they manage the budgets. And I think it's very important to be engaged and have a good understanding and awareness of the political landscape around you. Well, I feel I'd like to answer that question in as much as I have made my home in Scotland. I have lived in Scotland since I was 14, 15, and that was a few years ago. Whilst I have lived in other parts of the country, and also the globe, I have made my home in Scotland, and I am happy to make my home in Scotland, and I feel very comfortable in Scotland, and that's all I wish to say on that subject. Well, in my own experience, how is the NHS in Scotland? Well, I'm very happy with the NHS. I have found the NHS, from my own personal perspective, to be an invaluable source, and I've found it has helped me with my physical health and my mental emotional health, because after all, there are 1 in 4 of us at any one stage who are likely to suffer from some kind of mental ill health, whether that's stress, anxiety, depression. And so there is at any one time 25% of the UK, I believe, certainly Scottish population, who will suffer some form of mental distress. And certainly I have had depression, but okay, so what? But without the resources of the NHS, I would not be here speaking today. You are right to indicate or point out that I am both self-employed and employed. In fact, I have 3 jobs, 2 employed jobs and 1 self-employment position. also do a considerable amount of voluntary work, but that is beside the point. But in order to answer the question on my views of 0 hours contracts, I believe that 0 hours contracts are detrimental to the employment market, and in fact I have made my students, going back to my teaching English to speakers of other languages rather, I have made them aware of 0 hours contracts and the pitfalls that are inherent within 0 hours contracts. And I feel that 0 hours contracts do not do a great deal to advance our position as a country. Well, what do I believe is our greatest threat? Well, I believe, going back to my favourite subject, which is education and bringing greater awareness and greater understanding to the individuals and the wider population and visitors from overseas. As I say, I teach ESOL, English to speakers of other languages. To an international perspective, I have many international students. I have all international students, clearly, but I have students, what I'm trying to say is I have students from many different countries in the one class, both EU and non-EU citizens. So I feel that, what do I consider to be our greatest threat? I feel that our greatest threat is a lack of understanding, and I feel that education is the best way of dealing with that. And, well, I don't think Trident is necessary to educate people. I applaud it. I applaud their policy to provide and increase the number of houses, social housing available for rent, and particularly the Labour Party proposal to end the ban by the Tories on issuing long-term rents, long-term tenancies, I beg your pardon. As somebody who is on a Scottish secure tenancy myself, it has, with my social landlord, a housing association, the Scottish secure tenancy has been a great boon for me and has given me great security in my home, which was not available to me as a renter with a private landlord. What I would say to Nicola Sturgeon is forget about the independence referendum and concentrate on fixing the economy and the education of Scotland.